Hey, I just got home from a funeral. It's a funeral for the father of a really good friend of mine. And he was older and he had some health issues, so it was expected. When you do a funeral, you're going to get paid. You're going to get an honorarium, and what I have found is that most of the funeral homes, they'll be close in pay. They'll be pretty competitive with each other, but there's not like a rule of thumb of what they're going to pay you. But what I really want to talk about is sometimes the funeral home will call and they'll need a pastor. The family of the deceased, they don't have a home church, and so they just need a pastor. And if you have a good working relationship with that funeral home, you'll be called upon. And sometimes those phone calls come with the family's poor and they can't afford to pay, so you have to make a decision whether you're going to do that funeral and offer your services for free or not. um, and I've had that happen several times, where just because it is what it is, the circumstances, and I've been asked, to forego an honorarium to help the family out. Today's was a little different. The gentleman was older, he was elderly, and there just wasn't money really for a funeral. And so the family had put out, in lieu of flowers or in lieu of gifts, send donations directly to the funeral home to offset some of those expenses. And so when I went to the funeral home today, and the the man who runs the funeral home went to hand me my check, I just kindly refused it and said, no, I want that to be put towards the funeral expenses. And so I just want you to know, with eyes very wide open, there are going to be needs that people are going to have. And sometimes, a lot of times, it comes down to a financial need. And so you're going to have to make a decision whether you're willing to forego an honorarium or a paycheck to help out a family in need. And sometimes, you have to look at your own family and their own needs, and do you need the money, or can your family go without that money? I'm not telling you what to do when these circumstances arise, but I will tell you, in my own personal experiences, uh, and you know me, I'm not a materialistic guy at all, but in my own circumstances, uh, when I've been asked uh, to forego an honorarium for a funeral, I don't even question it. I just do it, and I agree with the funeral home, and God has always provided for my family, for my wife and I, my kids. And so I just want you to know that that's going to happen from time to time, and you're going to need to make some decisions on that. And I'll be honest, there's not really a right or wrong answer, because you have to weigh out your family and then what's being asked of you. So eyes wide open, and bathe that in prayer. Talk it over with your spouse, and then decide how you want to approach that. Hey, I love you guys, and I will see you next time, because I've got a dinner date with my wife tonight.